It's now time for Trivia Tracks with yours truly, Price Robertson. This edition of Trivia Tracks is brought to you by Beth Smith at Edward Jones and by ProMed Ambulance Services. He is considered one of the greatest wrestlers and talkers in the history of pro wrestling. Dusty Rhodes, nicknamed the American Dream, did not have a typical wrestler's physique, but it was his personality, charisma, and interviews that made him very popular. Vince McMahon has remarked that no wrestler personified the essence of charisma quite like Dusty Rhodes. He was born Virgil Riley Runnels Jr. in Austin, Texas on October 11, 1945. After high school, he played baseball and football at West Texas State. Turning professional, Rhodes tried out with American Football League's Boston Patriots, the forerunner of the New England Patriots, but was cut. After briefly playing in the Continental Football League, he found his calling when he saw a newspaper advertisement for Tony Santos' big-time wrestling in Boston. Despite not having any wrestling experience, he bluffed his way into working for the company and making friends with Bobby Duncombe and the Funk Brothers. Initially working as Dusty Runnels, he later moved to WCCW in Dallas, where Gary Hart suggested he become Lonesome Rhodes. That name didn't stick, so he decided on Dusty Rhodes. In 1968, he teamed with fellow Texan Dick Murdoch to form the Texas Outlaws, headlining numerous promotions domestically and overseas. In 1974, Rhodes turned face, declaring himself the American Dream, embodying the working class hero. In 1977, he joined the WWF, on and off for lengthy periods of time, until 1983. During that time, Rhodes main evented twice in Madison Square Garden, both times challenging for the heavyweight championship against reigning champion superstar Billy Graham. After moving to Jim Crockett's outfit, Rhodes tag-teamed with Magnum TA for runs against the Four Horsemen and the Russian team, and feuded with other heels such as Abdul the Butcher, Terry Funk, and Kevin Sullivan. In October 1985, during his feud with Ric Flair, Rhodes gave what became known as his Hard Times promo, arguably his most popular promo. Here's part of it.
Ric Flair, the world's heavyweight champion. I don't have to say a lot more about the way I feel about Ric Flair. No respect. No honor. There is no honor among thieves in the first place. He put hard times on Dusty Rhodes and his family. You don't know what hard times are, Daddy. Hard times are when the textile workers around this country are out of work and got 4 or 5 kids and can't pay their wages, can't buy their food. Hard times are when the auto workers are out of work and they tell them go home. And hard times are when a man has worked at a job 30 years. 30 years. They give him a watch, kick him in the butt, and say, hey, a computer took your place, Daddy. That's hard time. That's hard time. And Ric Flair, you put hard times on this country by taking Dusty Rhodes out. That's hard time.
In the late 80s, Rhodes became synonymous with what would become known as the Dusty Finish, a trick ending in which a wrestler would win a match while the referee was knocked out, and the decision would be overturned. He left Jim Crockett in 1989 to help start the PWF in Florida, followed by a return to WWF, and then the WCW, plus the ECW, TNA, now Impact Wrestling, and the rest of the independent circuit. Dusty Rhodes is one of 7 men inducted into the WWE, WCW, Professional Wrestling, and Wrestling Observer Newsletter Halls of Fame. Later in life, Rhodes occasionally appeared on WWE television and pay-per-views, and worked backstage for NXT, the company's developmental territory. Twice married, Dusty Rhodes died from complications due to kidney failure on June 11, 2015, 4 months before his 70th birthday. His sons, Dustin and Cody, are wrestlers themselves, as is his daughter-in-law, Brandy. Till next time, I'm Price Robertson. Amazed by today's trivia? Then join me for Trivia Tracks weekdays at 6:45 on Everybody's Country Y95.